Welcome back to episode 4 with your host, Dr. Noukelak, or just your girl Germination. If you haven't already, please kindly like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share. We are rocking and rolling together. If you're ready, we're going to go ahead and start. What are we going to talk about today? From episode 3, I told you. I gave you a little hint. I told you we're going to talk about the real wealth. Not the wealth of Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. What are their names again? Those billionaires, Elon Musk and stuff. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the real power to wealth, our mental health, our minds. If you're ready, we're going to go ahead and start. Physical wounds are visible, but the mental wounds are silent. You know what we talk about silent folks, right? They're the most dangerous. If your kid is silent, start to look closely. Your spouse, because everything is inside. We don't want it to be in there. We want it out. Because once we tell our story, we give someone else the power to keep going. So silence is dangerous. Now, and yet silence, battles are often the hardest to fight. So you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know their next move. Sometimes people say, oh my God, President Trump is this. I'm like, at least he tells you what he's going to do. Okay, so you can prepare. That aside, let's brush that. Let's come back to what we are. Why mental health matters? It matters a lot to us as clinicians, to you at home. Because you cannot build purpose with an overwhelming mind. It never happens, just so you know. You cannot hear God. You cannot hear any clarity, no intuition or wisdom through constant chaos. If your mind is all over the place, you're carrying the weight of the world. You cannot. It's not possible. So that's why it's important. Let's have a personal reflection here on this matter. I want to share some stories about patients. And, the first one is a woman. She was in her 40s. She came in. She complained of headaches, stomach issues, chronic pain. There was no medical reasons for it. As we dived into it some more, we began to uncover there was a lot of mental health. There was no medical explanation. Realized when we talked about her job, the burden of caring, being a caregiver at home, we started to understand where those symptoms are coming from. There is that part. Then there's another patient, comes in young, chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness. And then you start to listen more. You did your EKG, you did your blood work, CBC, everything is perfect. And then you ask her those questions that we're supposed to ask, our PHQ-9, or just basic question as, how are you really doing? How are things at home? And when she opened up the Pandora box, you start to understand a mental health. It's the contributing factor. In fact, that is the real diagnosis, nothing medical. Then you have this man that comes in, he's in his 40s, he comes in for backache, but he couldn't have eye contact. Think about it. He's physically fit, nothing wrong, has six-pack, cannot look at you, has to look down, look someplace else, left, right, whatever, but just cannot have the eye contact. And when you probe some more, you understood that there was a lot of anxiety. There's maybe mood disorder over there. And you're asking yourself, what's going on? Is your back really hurting? He said this, and I can't forget, I want to read it directly. My mind is heavy, and my body is the one paying for it. My mind is heavy, and my body is paying for it. The body sending out the symptoms, but the mind is sick. These stories and many more changed me. Your mind is not weak. No, it's not. Your mind is wounded. It's bleeding. And wounds deserve care, not shame. If you're listening today, please know that what you need is care for the mind. Treat it with love and care like it's frail. It's tender. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with your body. You're perfectly fine. We need to work on the mind. And that's what we're about to do now. So if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share. Because your friends, your family, your enemies, your neighbors, everybody needs to be on GERMA Voice during this holiday period. Christmas, New Year, some people have no one. But you have GERMA Voice. And we'll go through all of this together. Okay? There's no shame in it. Shame is when you don't say anything, when you don't speak up, when you don't seek for help. We're going to go through the 5 pillars of mental wealth. I want you to write this down if you can, because this is my coaching. This is me not just lecturing you, not just telling you this. I'm telling you these stories to help us heal, because I told you your story is powerful. Mine is powerful. When we share with the world, we're aligning with our purpose. We continue to build. We started with what is our why? How to find our why. It's episode 1. Episode 2, the gift you owe the world. Maybe it's your story. Maybe it's leadership, it's mentorship. Maybe it's you the way you are. I don't know what you wrote down on your paper. But we talked about practicing every day, putting it into use. And the third thing we talked about, just last week, Friday, we talked about healing while hustling or serving while hustling. I do healing because that's what I do. I'm a doctor. I talk about healing. But for you, it could be an entrepreneur, it could be anything. A nurse, a teacher. You're serving. Your stories are inspiring our children to be better than themselves. You could be a politician. You're welcome on here, Republican, Democrat, Independent, it doesn't matter. Anybody. This space is for everybody because we're going to grow together. Okay? So the first one, the 5 pillars of mental wealth by the GERMA Voice podcast. Okay? Honesty. Admit how you really feel. If you're not honest with yourself, people can help you. I tell my son as a teenager, if you can tell me how you feel, I cannot help you. But if you tell me how you really feel, we can work together. So be honest with yourself. 2, support. Therapy, community, safety people. I'm your community. No one else wants to be. You know how to get to me. You can always write, text, whatever. Your community. Your parents, your family. Your chosen family. If you need therapy, it's a great way to start because you want to be intentional. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give therapy. But if you need a one-on-one therapy, you know how to text, email, contact me. I'm happy to do that. I'm credentialed to do that. I want you to be better. I'm talking to you. I want you to grow. I want you to become more, to reach your full potential.